Fender's all-new Vintera II series are designed for those who'd like their guitars to be as vintage spec as possible without breaking the bank. And today I'm taking a close look at the Vintera II 60s Stratocaster. Stay with me. Well, according to Fender, this new series features period-correct bodies, necks, and hardware, plus specially voiced pickups for each year. Now, the body is alder, and the neck does have that slim C-shape reminiscent of a 60s model. And if you're like me, you'll be very happy to see a great-looking slab Rosewood fingerboard. Well, this is a particularly nice touch. Now, the Pau-Ferro boards they've been using are fine, but if you're after the classic look, well, most of the Pau-Ferro boards I've seen don't really deliver it. Not that they can't look nice, but very few look anything like the originals. So I'd consider this a major upgrade. So far, like the American Vintage 2 series, all Vintera 2 guitars have the original 7¼ fingerboard radius. So if that puts you off, you might want to wait and see if they come out with a modified model like the original Vintera series. For me, I quite literally grew up playing 60s Fenders, and I'm perfectly comfortable with them, so long as they're properly set up. So let's take a look at this one. Well, accurate fretwork is the key to playability, and especially with this radius. Well, I'm happy to report this fretwork seems quite good. Still, if you're someone who wants super low action, say below 1.5 millimeters, well, even the best fretwork probably won't likely allow big bends on this radius without choking out, especially in the upper register. But with the more usual Strat action, you should be fine. Now what I do is set the action at 1.5 millimeters treble and 1.75 bass, and if the bends are choking, then I just raise it a tiny bit until the bends are clean. That's more than low enough for most players, and a lot of Strat guys use way higher action. Now the frets themselves are really quite nice. They're roughly vintage width, but taller. And this is a great idea. It retains the articulation we love about the old ones, but the extra height helps facilitate modern playing styles. Now, one very welcome departure from the originals is the second tone knob is wired to the bridge pickup, where you need it. So thumbs up for that as well. I haven't set this one up with my usual 10 through 46 set, and yes, this is a vintage spec guitar. So that means adjusting the rod requires neck removal, which is why I'm reviewing this one with the factory strings. And that's another reason you might want to stop and be certain you really want a vintage correct Strat. Though I don't think it's as big a deal as some seem to think. I found that once it's set up for the strings I use, well, these maple necks rarely need adjustment. Now, Fender says these pickups are revoiced to remain faithful to the era's tonal character. I don't have the other models to compare, so let's have a listen. Now I have to admit this guitar has exceeded my expectations, especially since I heard a lot of grumbling about the overall quality of the American Vintage II Strats. Now this is a sample size of 1, so I can't speak to the consistency. But I bought this myself, online, so it's a pretty random example, and the fit and finish are first rate. I just love this Olympic white with the mint green guard. The neck tint looks just right as well, and while I'd probably drop in my preferred Lindy Fralin pickups, there's really nothing at all wrong with these. Now, when I mentioned not breaking the bank, well, at $1150 in the US, it's not a budget guitar. But if you want a truly vintage spec Strat, well, the American Vintage II is just about twice the price. So really, in today's economy, it seems reasonable for what it is. Are the upgrades worth the price increase over the old Vintera series? For me, they are. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Now don't forget to give it a like and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you again very soon.